Hello, welcome to the tutorial 6. Today we will review about the forecast. It is on the chapter 7 on Chopras book, or we can see in the PowerPoint of Hazard that Pak Rizky have shared before. There's some quantitative approach that we can use to forecast. The first one is the moving average. The formula is here, the sum of demand in previous n periods. And this is the example from the PowerPoint that Pak Rizky have shared before. So in this example, we must compute for the 3-month moving average. So in April, if you want to forecast demand in April, we compute the previous demand in January, February, and March, and then divided by 3 because it is 3 months, and we got 11 2 per 3. But the actual demand is 16, and our forecast is 11 here. So it's okay because forecast is usually not always perfect. And for May also the same, but we computed from February, the 3 months before May, the demand in February plus the demand in March and April divided by 3, and we got this number. And the second one is weighted moving average, and the formula is here almost the same with moving average, but we must multiply the demand with the weight, and then we divide it by the sum of weight. For example, as you can see here, in April, same 3 months. In April, we compute from January until March, and then 13 here multiply by 3, and then plus 12 multiply by 2, and 10 multiply by 1. So the months or the period that is closest to this period will have a bigger weight. Like here, March, it has a weight of 3, and February has a weight of 2, and January, the furthest period, only get the weight of 1, and then divided by sum of the weight, which is 3 plus 2 and plus 1, and we get 6, and then we got 12 1 per 6. Also the same for the next months, as you can see in here. We just move on for the next approach. And then the next approach is the exponential smoothing. The formula, as you can see in here, the new forecast equals to the previous forecast plus alpha, or the smoothing constant, times the actual demand on previous period minus the last period's forecast. And then there are some common measures of error that are MAD, or mean absolute deviation. The formula is the sum of actual minus forecast, and it is in the absolute number divided by n. So absolute number is, even if we got the number of actual minus forecast is in negative number, then it will be still counted as the positive number. So for example, we got minus 5, and then we sum it as a positive number of 5, and then there is MSE or mean squared error. The formula is here the sum of forecast errors squared by 2 divided by n. And then there is MAPE or mean absolute present error. The formula, as you can see in here, the actual minus the forecast divided by the actual times 100 and sum of it divided by n. And the last measure of error is tracking signal. It measures how well the forecast is predicting the actual values. The formula is here the cumulative error divided by the MAD. The one that we need to pay attention in tracking signal is it is acceptable as long as the variation of tracking signal is between -6 and +6. So the example is, as you can see here, it is also in the PowerPoint that Pak Rizky have shared. So in this example, the variation of the tracking signal is between -2 and +2.5, and it is acceptable because it is still within the range of -6 and +6. And then we move on to the problem from the tutorial. So we have the first problem here. So there is an information about the actual demand for the heart transplants at Washington Hospital in the period 1 until 6, and also the number of the transplants. As you can see in the table, the question is the first one, using a 3-year moving average, make the demand forecast for years 4, 5, and 6. Second one, by using exponential smoothing with a smoothing constant of 0.6, make the demand forecast for the second to the 6 years. And the last one, use MAD or MAPE and MAPE and MSE and tracking signals to find out which forecasting method is best. So the first one, the moving average, the formula is, as you can see here, the same as before, the sum of demand in previous n periods divided by n. So for the years 4 or the period 4, the computation is L3. L is the level of current period for the next forecast. Actually, it is also the same with the forecast in the next year. So for example, L3 is equals to forecast 4. It is the same, and do not worry it too much. And then if you want to write in here as F4 or forecast 4, I think it's okay. So for the period 4, the formula is demand 1 plus demand 2 plus demand 3 divided by 3, because we using a 3-year moving average, equals to 45 plus 50 plus 52 divided by 3, and we get 49. And then for the error, because we will measure the errors in point C, we can just compute the error here, so it will make it easier. The error is the forecast in period 4 minus the demand in period 4, which is 49 minus 56 equals to minus 7. And then for the period 5, also the same, just the sum of 3 periods before the period 5, that is demand in period 2 plus the demand in period 3 plus the demand in period 4 divided by 3, and we got 52.67. And for the error, also the same, just forecast minus its demand, and we got minus 5.33. And then for the period 6, here the 3 period before period 6 is the demand in period 3, that is 52, plus the demand in period 4, that is 56, plus the demand in period 5, that is 58, divided by 3, and we got 55.33. Because we don't know the actual demand in period 6, then we cannot compute the error in period 6, and that's okay. And then for the second question, by using exponential, smoothing the formula, as you can see on the right side, the new formula equals to the last period forecast plus the alpha or smoothing constant times the actual demand on the last period minus the forecast on the last period. So on the forecast, we need to compute the forecast for the second to 6 years, and because we need to have a previous forecast, that is forecast in period 1, for we compute the forecast in period 2, then first we need to compute the forecast in period 1. So for the forecast in period 1, or L0, we get it from the average of all of these demands. So demand 1 plus demand 2 plus demand 3 plus demand 4 plus demand 5 divided by the number of period here, and we get 52.2. And for the error, just the forecast in period 1 minus the actual demand in period 1, and we got 7.2. And then we need to revise the estimate of level. So the L1, or the forecast for the period 2, is equals to the forecast on the last period, that is forecast period 1, plus the alpha or smoothing constant, which is 0.6, times the actual demand in period 1 minus the forecast in period 1. And then 52.2 plus 0.6 times the 45 minus 52.2, and we got 47.88. And then for the period 2, we can just move it directly from here. So the forecast in period 2 is equals to the level in period 1, the level of revise here, and then the number is 47.88. And then for the error, also the same, just forecast minus demand. Please remember that it is not demand minus forecast, but forecast minus demand, because we want to know that if our forecast the error is high or not, and the error in period 2 is minus 2.12. And then the revised estimate of level of L2, or the one that we will use later in forecast in period 3, that is the last period of forecast, or the forecast in period 2, plus the alpha times the actual demand in period 2 minus the forecast in period 2. And we get this number 49.15. And for period 3 also the same. We got the forecast in period 3 that is 49.15. And the error is minus 2.85, and the revised estimate of level, or the L3, or L3, this L3 or level 3 will be used on the period 4, and the formula is the forecast in the period 3 plus the alpha times the actual demand in period 3 minus the forecast in period 3, and we got 50.86, and this 50.86 will be the forecast in period 4, and the error is minus 5.14. And then we also compute the level 4, the one that will be used later in the forecast 5, and we get 53.94. And then the period 5, the forecast is 53.94. The error is minus 4.06. And then for the L5, or the one that will be used in the forecast 6, is 56.38, and in the period 6, just move this from here to here, and we got 56.38 because we don't know the actual demand in period 6. Then we don't have to compute the error in period 6. This is one example from the book about the simple exponential smoothing. So in this example, we need to compute the demand in period 1. So for this, we have data of 4 demand, that is 38, 35, 77, and 90. That's the N is 4 periods. And then we need to compute the L0 first. That is the forecast of previous period. And then we get the sum of this 4 data demand divided by 4, and we get 60. And then the forecast for period 1, we get 60, the same as L0. So it is always the same. The forecast of T period will be the same of L, or level of T minus 1, or the previous period. And then the observed demand for period 1 is 38, as you can see here. So the error is the forecast 60 minus the actual demand 38, and we get 22. And then with alpha, or smoothing constant, of 0.1, the revised estimate of level for period 1 is here, the formula. It is actually the same, and we got 57.8. So I want to compare with the formula that we used earlier and here. So the formula we used before is based on the formula on the PowerPoint. And then for the forecast period 1 or the level in period 0 is same. The sum of 4 demands here divided by the number of periods, and we get 60, and the error also the same, just 60 minus 38, and we get 22. And then for the revised estimate of level for period 1 or L1, that is, or the forecast in period 2 letter, is the forecast in period 1 plus alpha times the actual demand in period 1 minus forecast in period 1, and we get 60 plus 0.1 times the 38 minus 60, and we also get 57.8. So it is the same. It doesn't matter if you use the computation in here or here because it will get the same result. You can choose whatever you like. Just use what comfortable for you. And the last questions is use the measurement of error to find out which forecasting method is the best. So I have put the error of each method so we don't have to go back to the previous slides every time. So for this, we just need to compare each method, that is moving average and exponential smoothing, by the measurement of error. So the first one, the MAD, the formula is here, and then for the moving average, just the error here. As you can see, the error of moving average is minus 7 and minus 5.33, and because the formula of MAD is absolute, so the negative number will be converted to positive number, and then we get 7 plus 5.33 divided by 2, and we get 6.17. And then for the exponential smoothing, also the same, just move the error of each period here to here and divided by the number of periods that we compute, that is 5. So we got 4.27. Also it has negative number, and because MAD used the absolute number, so the negative number will be the positive number. And then for the MSE, the formula is here. The error will be squared by 2 divided by n. So for the moving average, the error is minus 7 squared by 2 plus minus 5.33 squared by 2 divided by 2, and we get 38.70. And for the exponential smoothing, also the same, 7.2 squared by 2 plus minus 2.12 squared by 2, and so on, divided by 5, and we get 21.18. And then for the MAPE, the formula is here. It is also use the absolute number of times by 100. So in this moving average, the actual minus forecast is actually the error. So the error is 7, and this is the absolute number. So the minus here will be gone and will be a positive number. So 7 minus the actual demand. So the actual demand here is 56 in period 4. So 7 divided by 56 times the 100 plus the 5.33 divided by the actual demand on the period 5, that is 58 times 100, and then all of this divided by 2, and we get 10.84. For the exponential smoothing also the same. So the absolute number of 7.2 divided by the actual demand in period 1, that is 45 times the 100 plus 2.12. It is a negative because the formula is we use absolute number, so it will be a positive number. So 2.12 divided by 50 times 100 and so on divided by 5, and we get 8.38. And then we compare each of it, and based on the calculation, moving average have the bigger number of every measurement of error. Before we conclude, we must check the tracking signal first. For the tracking signal, the formula is here, the cumulative error divided by MAD that we got before. So the cumulative error is the normal number, so it is negative, and we put it as a negative number. So minus 7 plus minus 5.33 divided by 6.17. 6.17 we got it from the MAD that we have computed in the previous slide, and we got minus 2. And for the exponential smoothing also the same, and we got minus 1.33 minus 1.63. So it is acceptable as long as the variation of tracking signal is between minus 6 and 6. So these two methods, the moving average and exponential smoothing, is acceptable. So we just need to compare the MAD, MAPE, and MSE that we have completed before on the previous slide. So the conclusion is the forecasting method that is the best to use for this case is the exponential smoothing, because it has the measurement of error less than the moving average method. So the majority of the measurement error on the exponential smoothing is less than the moving average method. And then we review from the example from the book and the PowerPoint of Hazard that Pariski has shared before. And this is the example from the PowerPoint when there is a trend that is a persistent of overall upward or downward pattern. It is affected by the change due to the population, technology, age, culture, etc. And it is typically several years of the duration. And the formula is, as we can see here, when a trend is present, exponential smoothing must be modified. So it is the trend will be affect the exponential smoothing. So the formula is forecast including trend, or FIT, equals to exponentially smooth forecast plus the exponentially smooth trend. So the step 1 and step 2 and step 3, as you can see in here. Oh, and this is the example of trend. It is a line of upward pattern here. And this is the example from the PowerPoint. So if we want to compute the smoothed forecast on the second month, the step 1 is as you can see here, forecast for month 2 is alpha times the actual demand on the previous period plus the 1 minus alpha times the forecast on the period 1 plus the trend in period 1. And then the exponential, the smoothing constant actually is known here. The alpha is 0.2. The actual demand in period 1 is 12 plus the 1 minus 0.2 times the 11 here plus 2, and we get 12.8 units. The value 2 here, or the trend, maybe it will be known from the problem. So for the step 2, the trend for the second month is here, the formula the same as here, and we got 1.92 units. And then for the step 3, we calculate the forecast including trend, that is the forecast plus the exponentially smoothed trend. Just sum these two columns and we get 14.72 units. And this is the example from the subsection of 7.7 on Chopra's book, where we can use solver to select the best smoothing constant on the exponential smoothing method. So the impact of picking smoothing constants is to minimize the different error measures. So we need to choose the high values of alpha or the smoothing constant when underlying average is likely to change, or we can choose the low values of alpha when underlying average is stable. So as you can see here, the last number of alpha 0.1, the line is actually quite stable, and whereas the alpha of 0.5, the bigger number, it has the quite a change from this graph. To see in detail, we can see the Microsoft Excel file. Okay, so for the example on section 7.7, we choose the best smoothing constant or the alpha using the solver. So first, we need to input the data. The data demand here is known from the information, and it is the level or L. And then the forecast, there is error, squared error, or that we use on MSE, the absolute error, or the one that we use in MAD, and the percentage of error, or MAPE. Because it is the exponential smoothing, so we have to use the formula on exponential smoothing. So after we put the data, next is we must put the formula. So first, to know the forecast on the first period or the level on period 0 here, just compute the average of the demand okay, I actually have put the formulas, but I will explain it. So the forecast in period 1 or the level in period 0 is from the average all the demand here. Actually, you can fill the level first or the forecast first. It's up to you. But for the exponential smoothing here, I prefer to fill the forecast first, and the level here will just copy from the forecast the next period. Like the level 1 here will be the same as forecast in period 2. The level 2 will be the same as forecast in period 3, and so on. So and then for the forecast 1 we get from the average, and the forecast for the period 2 we get from the formulas here. So the forecast in period 1 plus the alpha that we will get later by the solver times the actual demand in period 1 minus the forecast in period 1. The next period also the same, but don't forget to put the dollar sign here, so when we copy it to the last period here, it will not change. Okay, and then for the error here, just input the formula where forecast minus the actual demand, and just drag it, copy. And then for the squared error, just the error in each period or each row squared by 2. Put the sign on Excel, it means squared. And then the absolute error, just put the formula x, and this value here, just click it like x, then click, then here the -1 here will be positive number on all of it, and just drag all the way to the bottom. And then for the percentage of error, we get from the absolute error here, because in MAPE, if you remember, we use the absolute number divided by the actual demand times 100%, and we get this number, and just drag to the bottom. The instruction from the book. So if we want to minimize the MSE, just click the solver, and the set objective is here, to minimize, because we want to minimize the error, and the changing variable cell is the alpha values here. and we got this number 0.44 50 to minimize the measurement of error of MSE. The alpha or the smoothing constant that we should use is 0.54. And then if we want to minimize the MAD, for example, then we just change the objective to G to here. Wait. Wait. Here. It is the others is the same and click solve. Okay, as you can see, to minimize the MAD, the smoothing constant should be 0.31. So if you want to see or to want to read further, you can read the Chopra's book. So in Chopra's, it said that the MSE picks a smoothing constant that reaches large errors, whereas minimizing MAD picks a smoothing constant that gives equal weight to reducing all errors, even if large errors get somewhat larger. Okay. The next example is on section 7.8 on Chopra's book, where we use Microsoft Excel to forecast a demand. To see in detail, we can see the Microsoft Excel file. So for the example in section 7.8, the forecasting demand at Salt, where we use the 4-period moving average. So there is 12 periods and the demand is known from the information. And we must compute the forecast, the error, the level, the MAD, the error squared by 2, the percentage of error, the MAPE, and the TS or the tracking signal. So first, of course, we must compute the level or the forecast. It is up to you whether you want to compute the L or the level first or the forecast first. So like before in here, where I compute the forecast first and the level will just follow because will be the same. Wait, maybe I will type that L is Ft plus 1 or Ft is Lt minus 1. So I will change this to the yellow one, and here is the blue one. So I think I will just compute the forecast first. So because we use the 4-period moving average 1, 2, 3, 4, so we start from the period 5. So in this, so the forecast in period 5, just put the average from the demand in period 1 until 4, and we get this number, and the level here just follow. So the L just follow the forecast. the L in period 4 just follow the forecast in period 5. Okay, and then the forecast in period 6 also the same. Maybe just wait. The sum of the 4 period before divided by 4 and just drag, and we got this number. And then for the level, just follow the forecast on the next period. Oh, and this one, because we cannot follow the next one because we don't have the forecast on period 13, we must compute manually by compute the average of period 8 until 11, and we get this. But in the exponential smoothing, the level on the last period just follow the forecast on the last period. Okay, next for the error, just forecast minus the demand and just drag. Okay, and then for the absolute error, just put the formulas S and click the cells, and we get this. And then for the error squared by 2, just put this sign, and we get this number and copy. Now, and then for the MAD, we get this from here minus wait, the absolute error divided by 1. Okay, and then maybe to make it easier, okay, and we can drag, I think. Wait, let me check. Oh, not here. Okay. Okay, and we get the MAD, the average for each period. And if you notice, in the smoothing, exponential smoothing, we do not compute the MAD or MSE or MAPE for each period. We just compute the total average here in the bottom. But for the moving average here, we can compute the MAD, MAPE or MSE for each period. Okay, and then for the percentage of error, just because the percentage of error will be used in MAPE, just the cells here, the absolute error divided by the actual demand in each period times 100%. Okay, and just drag. And for the MAPE also the same, just compute the average here until here, so we can just drag it later, and don't forget to put the dollar sign so when we copy it will not change, and then drag. Okay, and then for the tracking signal, the formula is the cumulative error divided by the MAD. So I will put the formula sum and then the values here until here divided by the MAD on each row or each period, and then put the dollar sign so when I drag or copy this to the last row it will not change. So okay, we got the tracking signal as we can see here, and all the value is range between -2 to +2. Wait, -2 until +2, and it is in range of -6 to +6, and it means that our forecast is acceptable. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions, but I'm sorry if I will be quite late respond in this period of exam. If I late respond, just chat me many times so I don't forget. Thank you.